Ah yes, December. The month of snow, holidays, festivities, family, and me struggling to wrap up the many videos that I've been putting off for the rest of the year. There were 11 videos this year that I just kept putting off, and putting off, and putting off, and putting off, and now it's December. So in honor of the Christmas season, I bring to you the 12 days of Gunpla. -1. 11 days, 11 videos, and half a backlog's worth of kits. And on the first day of Christmas, I'm bringing to you System Base 001. So the system base is something that I've known about for a while, and I've always thought it was pretty cool, but I never actually picked one of them up until now. As you can see by the picture in the box, this is basically a hanger for your high-grade kits. This is a 900 yen kit, and one thing that threw me off was that this is pretty much just in a normal Gunpla box. Like, I've always thought of this as kind of just a small little add-on item, but yeah, it's pretty big. And looking inside the box, I'd say there's definitely a high grade's worth of plastic in here. With all the parts out of the bags, it looks like there's only 5 runners here, so I don't think this is going to take that long to build, honestly. The manual is pretty basic, too. So that went pretty quick. It is just a hanger after all, but I must say, it is a very good looking one. There's a few hollow areas on the inside and also on the back, but for the most part, it looks pretty nice. Well, except for the nub marks. They're probably the worst thing I've ever seen. And because this is gunmetal plastic, they look especially crappy. They make a black version of this base as well, and I would probably recommend getting it over the gunmetal one for that reason. But of course, this is a hanger, so as important as its appearance is its functionality. So let's see what this thing can do. So according to the box, this base is designed so you can plop just about any high grade you want into it. So I've got the RX-78 Revive here because why not, and you can probably already see a little bit of a problem. This is very much a one-size-fits-all affair, and while there are accommodations in it to enlarge it for bigger kits, there's nothing really to make it shorter or smaller. So while this is intended for use with average-sized high grades, I wouldn't say that's the best purpose for it. I've replaced the RX-78 with a real grade unicorn, and already the size of the base is much more appropriate. This piece was definitely designed with larger kits in mind. So as it is right now, I'd already say that I'm pretty happy with the system base. But the cool thing is, you actually get quite a bit more to work with. Right off the bat, you can connect these two pieces together, and then remove this section from the back of the hanger. Once you have this out, you can set that off to the side, and then take the two pieces you plugged together earlier, and they pretty much just slide right into place. And right now, it might look like we didn't do a whole lot. I mean, yes, the figure's feet are a little bit further off the ground. It does make him look a little taller, but is that really worth all the trouble we just went through? The answer is yes. Yes, it is worth the immense effort of adding those two pieces of plastic, because now you can lift up the back of the base, swing it forwards, and then you can attach these points to any of these grooves along the bottom of the base. So your mobile suit can be standing upright, leaned back at a 45, or anywhere in between. So I think we've determined by this point that the RG Unicorn looks pretty awesome in System Base 1. But what if we bring in a bigger model? This is the Master Grade Red Frame Astray, and while surprisingly enough he does actually fit inside the hanger, it's a little bit cramped. Let's see what we can do about that. So if you just lift and swing, slide, and remove, you can then remove these parts, and after removing them from the interior slots, you move them outwards. Now that that's all done, you can take the back piece you removed and extend, a little more than that, and then you kind of just put everything back together. And already the Astray is looking much more comfortable. However, we can take this a step further. While there is space for the Astray in here, he's still standing on these two tiny little platforms. Let's see what we can do about that. Of course, our first option could be to completely remove these two pieces and replace them with a wider version of that spacer from before, or we could take this piece and attach it over the front of the existing panels. And now, the red frame has the luxury accommodations that it deserves. But there's even more stuff going on with this base that we haven't looked at yet. Let's say the Unicorn Gundam wants to kick back and relax in his hangar base, but he also wants quick and easy access to his weapons. What's a poor Gundam to do in this situation? Well, fortunately, the system base has a lot of ways to fix that problem. Along both sides of the base, you'll notice a groove along the top and a groove on the bottom. In the box for the system base, you also get 4 of these. And all you have to do is attach these onto here. Then you can take these little loop pieces, and again you get 4 of these. And what you can do with these is just slide one over each end of your desired weapon. And if the weapon is too large to fit through the loop, you can just separate it into 2 pieces and then reattach them around a narrower part of the weapon. Then you just attach the connector, and you now have reasonably solid weapon storage. Obviously this is one size fits all, so some weapons will fit in here looser than others, but for general display purposes it holds stuff pretty securely. But coming back to the Unicorn's bazooka, I had a bit of a problem with this weapon. Nowhere along the back of the bazooka is there an area that's small enough for this ring to go around. And at first I thought that was going to be a problem, but then I looked a little closer at the connector on the rings and I realized you can just plug them directly onto the base. As a side note, you don't even have to remove the crossbar pieces if you don't want to. Even if they don't have anything attached to them, they do a really nice job filling out the weapon rack. And not only are there a plethora of options for weapon storage outside of the base, there's even a few on the inside too. Inside the side panels we have 1, 2, 3 more storage rails. Between the inside and outside weapon storage, you can put just about anything you want on this base. And then, to top it all off, you get these connector pieces. By attaching these connector pieces to holes in the sides of the base plate, you can link together as many system bases as your heart desires and your wallet can handle. System Base 01 is a fantastic display piece. Yes, the nub marks are pretty bad and it does tend to dwarf smaller models, but as long as you stick with larger models, it looks absolutely awesome. I'm your host, Second Soundwave. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and be sure to come back tomorrow as we continue the 12 days of Gunpla. -1. Take care, guys.